Alright there guys, and welcome back to a new video. Today I'm going to be doing a follow-up video to one I did quite a while ago. If you guys remember, back in January of this year, I uploaded a video on 3 unpopular gaming opinions I have. Of which those were: The Simpsons game is the best Simpsons game, Hitman Absolution is the best Hitman game, and Bethesda have never developed or published an amazing game. Those were the 3 opinions I had in that video. I will have it linked in the description of this one if you guys want to go check it out. But this is going to be the second unpopular gaming opinions video I'm going to be doing. Since I thought, mate, I've got 3 more opinions, I feel like it's a good time to get back into it and talk about them. So, unpopular gaming opinion number 1 of this video is: Assassin's Creed 3 is better than Assassin's Creed 4. Yes. Almost nobody agrees with me on this one, as so many people in the Assassin's Creed community were very, very excited when Assassin's Creed 4 came out, and they said that it was kind of... It revitalized the entire series, the way AC4 went. However, I do not believe that. I still think AC3 is the superior Assassin's Creed game out of AC3 and 4. And let me tell you why. So let's start off with ship combat. The number 1 thing I absolutely hate about Assassin's Creed 4. Assassin's Creed 3, for the first time ever, has you playing as a Templar, which is Hatham, and fighting the Redcoats. And you go through the process of how someone becomes a Templar. Of course, in AC2, we went through the process of how Ezio becomes an assassin, but in AC3, we go through the process of how someone becomes a Templar, which had never once been seen. Then we had Connor, and we went through his journey on becoming an assassin, which was slightly different to Ezio's. And when we finally get to the ship combat, Assassin's Creed 3 has very, very minimal ship combat. Very minimal ship combat, which I was happy for, because Assassin's Creed has always been known for the hidden blades, fighting enemies on land with blades. That's what Assassin's Creed has been known for, and the majority of Assassin's Creed 4 takes that away. Of course, there is still land combat in that game, and it is very, very good. I'm not going to say that the land combat in AC4 is bad, because it's not. AC4's land combat is better than AC3's, but that's the only thing it has better than AC3. Because AC3 doesn't have as difficult ships to fight as AC4 does. And AC4 feels more about pirates than it does about assassins. That's what I don't like about it. It feels... Calling it Pirates Creed would be a much more fitting name than Assassin's Creed. AC3 just feels more like an Assassin's Creed game than AC4 does. Another reason why AC3 is better than AC4, the present day sections of the games. AC4, all you have is you're in an Abstergo you're just in an Abstergo building, and you occasionally get off your chair and go speak to people. That's it. That is all you do in the present day sections of AC4. Yet in AC3 you have the final game where you can play as Desmond in the present day sections, and not only are they the best present day sections out of any Assassin's Creed game, the Desmond sections of Assassin's Creed 3 are better than everything that came before it combined, and anything that came after it in the present day sections combined. People really don't seem to understand that Assassin's Creed 3's present day sections are so good. Every single Assassin's Creed 3 present day section when you play as Desmond is good. The one where you get the one right at near the end when you break into the Abstergo's lair and take down Warren Vidic, who took your father hostage. Like, how is that not one of the if not the best present day moment in Assassin's Creed history? We met Warren Vidic all the way back at the very, very start of Assassin's Creed 1. Him and Lucy were the first two people we ever met in the entire franchise. And then we've come full circle and we found Vidic again. And this time, we're going to use the Apple of Eden, the so thing he desires is going to be the thing we use that get to kill him. How fitting is that? The combat in Assassin's Creed 3 is pretty highly improved on compared to Assassin's Creed Revelations, and the fact that climbing was improved for AC3. So in the present day sections, Desmond's climbing was better than it was in any previous game. And also, Assassin's Creed 3 was Ubisoft's first game after Ezio. Like, they knew they were going to struggle on creating a game that could match any of the previous three, because the Ezio trilogy is so massively loved by the Assassin's Creed community that even to this day, like, Ezio's trilogy ended in 2011. Near the end of this year, that will be 9 years ago. It will have been 9 years ago since Ezio's journey ended, and still nothing in Assassin's Creed since then has come close to matching it in terms of quality. But in terms of what Ubisoft were able to do after Revelations, they had to go in a completely different direction, and I think they did well with what they were able to do and get done. Assassin's Creed 4 benefited from Assassin's Creed 3 coming first. AC4's combat, climbing, looting, even its ship combat, all of that from Assassin's Creed 4 benefited from Assassin's Creed 3. So that's why I believe AC3 is superior to AC4. Now then, my second unpopular opinion of this video is Sonic the Hedgehog, better known as Sonic 06. It's the worst game I've ever played. However, the multiplayer for Sonic 06 is not that bad. Even though I only ever finished the first level in the multiplayer, that's further than I ever got in the story mode. I never even got that far in story mode. In the multiplayer mode, you play through the same sections as you do from the story mode, but there's two of you, and the levels are slightly and the levels are slightly different because you're not doing the same thing. You can either play as Sonic and Shadow, Sonic and Silver, or Shadow and Silver. So you have an option to pick. So you have an option to not play as Sonic at all. And having two people greatly increases the enjoyment of the game. It may be a broken mess still, but at least there's two of you. And having two of you actually makes it somewhat easier than the story mode. And not only that, Shadow and Silver's abilities make the levels so much easier. Only because you can play as Shadow and Silver did me and Che, so many years ago, actually manage to beat the first multiplayer mission of the game. We didn't beat the second one, but we came close to beating it. It's just everything about Sonic 06's story mode was designed so badly. It's such an awful game. And it sucks that was my introduction to the Sonic the Hedgehog franchise, Sonic 06. Possibly the worst game I could have ever started on. But no, the multiplayer of the game isn't actually half bad. Silver's basically using the Force ability is incredibly helpful, and Shadow can fire these electrical shards at enemies that can one-hit a lot of the regular enemies. So you already have a much better chance of beating the level with stronger abilities, as all Sonic has is a homing jump attack, and nothing else. Shadow and Silver also have that homing jump attack, and their own abilities. So that is why I think Sonic 06's multiplayer is not that bad. Now, on to our third and final unpopular gaming opinion of the video, and that will be Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2 is a massive improvement on Dragon Ball Xenoverse 1. Now, you'd probably be thinking, but people do say it's an improvement. The majority of the community do think it's an improvement on the first game. Yes, they do. But every single review I've ever seen of Xenoverse 2, mostly back when it came out in 2016, was it's either not even an improvement on the first game, or it's a slight improvement on the first game. Literally, nobody ever says Xenoverse 2 is a massive improvement on the first game. But I believe it is. I really do believe Xenoverse 2 is leaps above the first game. Of course, I love the first game. Without it, we would never have gotten Xenoverse 2, so you've got to always keep the credit strong with the first game, but the second game massively improved. let me explain why I think Xenoverse 2 is a massive improvement, not a minor improvement. First of all, the AI not being able to spam key blasts. That was an infuriating feature in Xenoverse 1. If an opponent you're fighting shoots a key blast and it hits you, and they've shot a barrage of key blasts, at least 3 more are going to hit you, and it just stops you in your tracks. It doesn't matter if you were charging an attack, or if you're about to charge your key up. Doesn't matter. That will stop you in your tracks. It was so infuriating, and I hated it. But in Xenoverse 2, they got rid of that, which seems like a minor improvement, but because it was so infuriating in the first game, it was a huge improvement. The next thing that was a huge improvement: being able to stop enemies from flying away. Because in Xenoverse 1, you couldn't, if an enemy was getting the better of you, you could just start flying away from them and they could never catch you. But in the second game, if you press X and square together, or X and A on Xbox, if you press those 2 buttons together, you will do a dash attack where you instantly fly really, really quickly towards your opponent, and you will hit them. And kick them away, stopping them from flying away from you. Again, another huge improvement, because it stops people trying to get away from you if you're absolutely destroying them. Feature number 3 that was a massive improvement: transformations for all races. Because in the first game, you could only transform into a Super Saiyan. Only Saiyans could transform in the first game, which was very, very unfair. Because what if you didn't pick a Saiyan character? What if your main character wasn't a Saiyan, like mine? You guys know by now, you all should know by now, Coolest is, and always has been, my main character on Xenoverse 2. And he wasn't the first character I made on Xenoverse 1, but he was the character I leveled up the most. He became a stapler. He was who I started my channel as, and he's still been a massive part of this channel. Even after I stopped being him, he's still a staple of this channel, and he always will be. But in Xenoverse 2, they of course added transformations for everyone. They gave Super Saiyan 3 to the Saiyans, which was a new transformation, as you can't turn Super Saiyan 3 in the first game. Only Super Saiyan 1 and 2, or Super Vegeta 1 and 2. They added Kid Buu to the Margins, Giant to the Namekians, the Nimbus and Cloud and Power Pole to the humans, and the Golden Form to the Frieza race, since that's basically the only transformation that would make sense. Since between the game's release and now, Super Saiyan Blue has been added for Saiyans. So that's not fair, giving the Saiyans another overpowered transformation that no one could even come close to. But giving all races transformations makes the battlefield a lot fairer than the first game did. Next feature that was a massive improvement on the first game for the second game: not allowing you to have infinite ki in your transformed state. Because in the first game, if you turned Super Saiyan and had maximum charge as one of your attacks, you could use an ultimate. Because when you ran out of ki when you turn Super Saiyan, you have infinite ki in the first game, but your ki is constantly going down, and when it goes down, you de-transform back into your base form. But if you had maximum charge, you could use an ultimate attack, then charge all the way back up to your max ki, and then use it again, and continuously do that, and never run out of Super Saiyan. And it was such an unfair tactic. Not only was it unfair if you were fighting against another human player, but when the AI were using Super Saiyan, it was beyond unfair. I can remember a specific parallel quest, not the name of it, but I can remember there was a parallel quest I did. It was on Supreme Kai's world, and you had to fight Goku, Gohan, and Goten. All three of them were Super Saiyans, and because they're AI characters, they never run out of ki. That's right, the AI fighters in that parallel quest never run out of ki, so they always stay in their Super Saiyan form, meaning they always have infinite ki. Because I can remember all three of them have Super Kamehameha as an ultimate attack. So Goku would use his on me, and then when his was just finishing, Gohan would use his on me, and then when his was finishing, Goten would use his on me. And that just kept on repeating. They kept spamming their ultimates, and there's nothing I can do about it. Because I don't have enough stamina to keep using my erasive skill to avoid damage. So they made sure in the second game to, instead of giving you infinite ki when you transform, is to just make all your attacks stronger. So you can't spam them, which was another massive improvement. I still don't understand how, okay, fine. Fine, some of the cutscenes in the second game are ripped straight from the first game. I get that. That's why the second game was released so much quicker when it started being developed than the first game did. The first game was being developed pretty much as soon as Battle of Z came out back in 2013. Xenoverse 1 was in development for a number of years, and Xenoverse 2 was in development for less than 2 years. Because they already had attacks, characters, missions, parallel quests from the first game that they could just port into the second game. But after all those features, and one more feature, the hub world. Konton City is so much bigger than Toki Toki City. And Toki Toki City, there are only 3 areas you can go to, excluding the place you go to in order to do the story mode missions in the first game. The Time Rift. But in the first game, it was so difficult to find trainers, to find mentors to train with, to get their attacks. And the second game massively improved on that by, instead of having them spawning randomly whenever, just some RNG if a character will spawn if the character if any character that you've haven't trained with yet will spawn somewhere. But in the second game, because the hub world is so much bigger, they just all characters will spawn exactly where they need to. There will be no random spawning. The characters will spawn in one specific location and stay there the entire time. I just don't understand how people can say Xenoverse 2 is a minor improvement on the first game after even though there's so much extra content in the second game and so many annoying and frustrating features about the first game were changed to be fairer in the second game. But that's the final unpopular opinion for this video. I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. If you have, please be sure to leave a like, subscribe if you're new, follow me on my social medias. Tell me in the comments for any unpopular opinions you guys have unpopular gaming opinions you guys have. And until next time, guys, catch you later.